3,000. That's the number of ghost workers that Prasa says it has. And of course, it says that it has been paying them up until December last year. And this, of course, what Transport Minister Fikile Mbalula told Scopa earlier on today. And the minister saying that this is a scam that was uncovered through the Project Ziveze that they started. And of course, showing that these are 3,000 individuals who have been, of course, earning, but nobody knows who they are. And of course, there's lots of questions tonight. When did the scam start? How much has Prasa lost to these ghost workers so far? And since no one has come forward to say that their salaries have been stopped, have they managed to trace some of these bank accounts to see who exactly do they belong to? But at the same time, the auditors themselves have got a lot of questions to answer about this very number, 3,000 ghost workers. This is, of course, a shocking number that Prasa has revealed, but also looking at another issue that is affecting Prasa. This is the issue of vandalism. This is a huge headache for this particular parastatal. I mean, almost 5 billion rand is going to be the cost to repair the vandalized infrastructure. And when you look at this particular infrastructure, you're thinking of provinces like Gauteng, the Western Cape and KwaZulu-Natal are the most affected by what is going on there. And in some cases, they're dealing with a vandalized signaling system, buildings as well, and some rails that have also had to be replaced. And the minister saying that this is also going to have an impact on the resumption of the long distance, passenger rail services, as well as the daily commuter rail services for the country. And this, of course, is also going to cost around 4.5 billion, in fact 4.9, just nearly 5 billion rand in order to fix. At the same time, the minister saying that COVID-19 has compounded this problem, and they are now going to be looking at this particular security system, making sure there's around 3,100 boots on the ground in order to deal with some of these problems that Prasa is, really battling here. But then there's another problem. You look at what has been happening in Langa, for example. This also further adds to the woes that Prasa is dealing with. This is the illegal occupation of the tracks. And this, of course, when you look at what is going on there in Langa, is this, of course, in Cape Town, you're seeing people that have set up some of their structures there on the rail tracks. And this process says is going to not only increase the cost of restoring services, but also at the same time, it is going to affect the timelines within which it is planning to restore some of these commuter services. And of course, Prasa has been battling to get this particular group out of that particular rail track. And of course, this is a story that we have been covering quite extensively here on SABC News. At the same time, Prasa itself is, with the vacant positions. You're looking at the fact that a lot of these positions that it has are filled by people who are in fact acting. You're looking at a 19% vacancy rate. The minister saying that over 3,500 vacancies exist nationally, saying that this is really not a good number at all, and talking about how many of these people are in acting positions. You're looking at executive positions like the CEO, the company secretary, the group chief security officer are among the key positions. And I mean, you're thinking of what the company is going through right now to find itself having so many of its executives acting is really also problematic. And around 737 are currently in acting positions. And this is, of course, to the cost of around 9 million rand. So Prasa really going through quite a lot, we really got a sense from the minister. And remember, the minister has been talking about how broken Prasa really is. So let's stay with that story and really, speak to the Deputy General Secretary of the United National Transport Union, just to get a sense of what exactly is behind some of the problems we are seeing at Prasa. Thank you so much for your time. Your reaction to this number, 3,000 ghost workers are in fact, part of the payroll at Prasa.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I think that it's much more than that. And it's a pity that people are not telling the total truth. The fact is that there are mechanisms in Prasa to secure that when each and every employee that's been paid goes through a system. You've got a clock card, you've got a time card that's been signed off, and before that time card has been signed off, the supervisor must say, this person did really work this time, and then it goes back into the system of payroll, and payroll pays out this money. Our view from Untu is that most of this monies must have been paid into someone's pockets, not ghost workers. I believe, our strong belief is, if they were people that should have received the monies, they should have complained by now. No one complained because they are afraid they're going to be caught out. I think the investigation has not been done properly.
Now,
that is our honest view.
Mr. Haasbroek, I heard you say something at the beginning of your answer. You said there's more. Do you believe this number is just a number we are being given right now? There's more than 3,000 ghost workers?
Well, totally so. I believe that that is the only people that they have stopped the payment of. But the question is, how did it happen? And for how long did it go on? I mean, it's each and every employee in Prasa, doesn't matter which position you are, you've got a supervisor that supervises you. They started with this verification process, which each and every employee had to go through. And at the end of the day, before that even has been finalized, salaries of 3,000 people has been stopped. Now, the question is, where did that money go? And how did it go through this whole system? How was it paid to anyone's account? And whose account were they paid into? Was it really ghost workers? Or was it someone that had a scam? And that's exactly what the minister said. I believe, sorry.
And I was going to ask you just there, because one of the critical things is the fact that they need to establish which, accounts this money really went into, because if you look at it, you can then trace through the banking system to see where exactly this money goes. Do you believe that that is where the answers lies, and they should be going hard towards the financial records?
100%. That is totally what we're saying. And I believe that when you go and have a look, it might be that all those 3,000 ghost employees' monies and salaries may be paid in to 10, 20 or 30 or 40 people's banking accounts, because there's no way that anyone can claim these kind of monies and employees, ghost employees, without going through the security systems. As I've stated before, you sign on, a time card has been completed by the supervisor. The supervisor signs that you were physically there and you worked the time. That goes to payroll. Payroll accepts that's the truth and the facts. That money's been paid over. I believe if they go into the banking accounts and start doing inspection on lifestyle audits on some people, they might find that these 3,000 ghost employees are actually 10, 20 or 30 people, not 3,000. Because those monies are paid into someone's account.
What is the staff complement of Prasa? Because the minister says there's about 3,500 vacancies, which is about 19%, which he says they need to fill in. And you're looking at the fact that there's also, acting people even in positions as high as, executive level. So what is the staff complement there?
The staff complement at this stage, it was 16,000. Now, if there's 3,000 out, so we're looking about 13,000. That is where it should be, but it should be about 16,000. That is a staff complement that it should be in Prasa. So that's about around correct.
And when you then look at, what the minister had to say, lots of concerns even around security. It's not new. We've been hearing about it all the time. But when we stay with this issue of these ghost workers, surely those in positions of management as well as HR have got some serious questions to answer, even the auditors as well, because they should have also checked, against the names and even the people themselves to ensure that these people exist.
100%. There's no way that the system is flawless, really. That they could have skipped and paid someone on a time card that's been signed off by a supervisor. Now, this is where the concern lies. HR, ER, and the people in payroll should know that this person doesn't exist. And it's not a question of thinking or coming now doing verifications on all the employees that is working, that's currently in the company. We should do a proper investigation to the bank accounts of those people and see, do they really belong to those people? Remember, each and every employee of Prasa has got an employee number. We call it a SAP number. That's coupled to that person's name. And that goes into a person's bank account. And that is so important that this could have happened. Is unexcusable. It shouldn't have happened at all.
Mr. Haasbroek, one of the things, of course, that the minister talks about is the amount of money that is going to be needed to fix the system in order to ensure that everything is fixed and some of those key priority lines are up and running by the end of the year. How much of a setback does this now become for this particular parastatal that is trying to get back on its feet, because now it's had possibly millions or even billions lost to these individuals?
Yeah, that's a very difficult question to answer, but my honest view is that is wish thinking, to be honest with you. If that's ever going to happen before 2 or 3 years' time, I can't believe it.
So you don't believe that the deadline of end of the year is realistic to get some of those key priority lines working?
Never. Let me tell you why. The fact is, Prasa haven't paid overtime to our protection service. This is the people protecting the lines since 2020. For 2021, the 5% increase wage agreement that was signed to all employees has never been implemented. We are next month. This year's wage increase must be implemented. So you've got a staff that is so negative, that don't know what's going on. We are running from court to court and the High Court and to the Labour Court, and every time Prasa just says we don't have money. Now, if they don't have money even to pay the human resource, the most important people, and that is the employees, where are they going to get the money to fix those lines? That's a simple question.
All right. We'll have to leave it there, unfortunately, but thank you so much for that and giving us a sense of what might be at play here. That was the Deputy General Secretary of the United National Transport Union, Mr. Neels Haasbroek.